This is the Bavaria Sport 330. It replaces the old Sport 32, uses the same hull, but there have been some major improvements, mainly in the cockpit, also down below, and there's been a general improvement in quality as well. That's something I've noticed as I've been on board today. We've actually been out to the Needles for the photo shoot, so I've had a good couple of hours in the helm seat, and this boat is fitted with a pair of Volvo Penta's D3 220s. Nice match for the boat. The only thing that we have noticed is they're quite noisy. The D3s are quite noisy anyway, but it certainly seems to be accentuated inside this cockpit here with quite high sound readings. So having said that, we did find exactly the same thing on board the Sealine S330, so I don't think it's something that's restricted to this boat. However, you can't fault performance, and actually the faster you go, the more refined the boat feels. Over at 3,500 RPM when she's doing sort of, and then 28 knots is when she feels most refined and the engines tend to quiet down a bit. As for handling, well, with twin stern drives, handling is never really going to be an issue. She's lovely and agile through the water, lots and lots of grip, and really instills confidence. You know, you can really throw her around 4 turns lock to lock, but she really sticks in the turns, and yeah, great fun, but perfectly safe at the same time. As for the driving environment, well, actually I really like it. As I said, I've been in the helm for a good amount of time today, and it's very comfortable. I haven't adjusted the seats or anything, but I'm nice and close to the wheel. Throttles are very close, I can see everything very clearly. It's a very comfortable place to drive the boat from, and it really fits me very nicely indeed. There's a bolster on the seat so you can stand, and there's plenty of headroom. I mean, it's not the most attractive looking hardtop you've ever seen, but its height does mean that you can stand up very easily. It feels very airy here. The only thing the helm is lacking are places to put a phone or a drink. There's no cup holders, there's no cubbies. The design is definitely very good, but strange that they haven't included anywhere for you to store a VHF or anything like that. So the cockpit of the 330, and this is where the major changes come over the old 32. So what you have here is you have a main seating area located aft. It's a good size on this boat, big teak table, really nice. It means you can get plenty of people around to eat and drink. And then you have the wet bar opposite, standard sort of thing. What is good to see is this forward-facing seating area here. It's not quite as good as on the Sealine because it's L-shaped on the S330, but it's an improvement on what was here before, and it does mean you can have 2 people up with the skipper when you're going along and they're facing the right way. Somewhere it does lose out slightly on the rivals is engine room access. Others have hydraulic rams that lift up an entire aft section of the deck, so you have fantastic access to both the engines. Here you drop through a hatch, there's no ladder in here, so it's a long way down, and then there's not a huge amount of room above the engines either, so service access isn't as good as on the rivals. However, it makes up for that downstairs, so let's go and have a look at the accommodation. So down here is where the slightly taller looks of this boat really come into their own, because you get a huge amount of headroom down here. That's what you notice when you first come down. The feeling of space is aided by really good utilisation of natural light, so you have a big hatch up here under the windscreen, another hatch just above the door here, ports either side, hatch up here, and a hatch over the forward berth. And the feeling of quality down here is much improved from Bavaria's of old, certainly the last few I've tested. This is the upgraded teak wood package over walnut. It's really warm, feels very classy, looks really good. Little things like they've added these nice metal pulls onto the fridges and the cabinets. Just all the touch points are slightly better than what I've seen before. In terms of the layout, you have this little dinette here. You don't have a separate cabin forward as on the Alana and the Sealine, but you do have a little curtain so you can at least have some privacy and a little storage in there as well. But the real star of the show is the Midship Cabin, which we can have a look at now. So this Midship's Cabin on the 330, I would say the 30-footer rivals I've been on, this is the best cabin. It's very spacious, it's very well finished, and it really feels very grown up. Doesn't feel like it belongs to a 30-foot boat. And not only the space is good, but it's the detailing as well. I like this little storage unit here. You have hanging storage, open storage to the right hand side there. You even have nice little detail like
little shoe rack, sort of detailing you often don't see on boats like this. This sofa here I'm sitting on, great place to put your shoes on, just gives you an extra little bit of place to take a seat. And then once you move around, most importantly, the berths themselves are very good. They're comfortable, they're a good length, well over 6 foot. This little well here means that you can easily sort of leave yourself in and out of bed, and you even have a little side table here, which is quite nice, bit of extra storage. All in all, very impressive cabin.
It's a sign of how far sports cruisers of this size have come that we're sitting here and it's hammering down with rain and we're perfectly dry. You know, it's great to have the option of a roof on a sports cruiser of this size. Makes it a real year-round usable boat. And the Bavaria, coming in at about £180,000. It's very competitive, it slightly undercuts the Sea Line, it's about the same as the Alarm, but you do feel like you're getting a lot on board this boat, especially below decks. It's very spacious and it feels very grown up and very well finished. They've really focused on that, and you can tell. The boat may not be winning any beauty pageants anytime soon, but if you can see through that, there's a lot to like about this particular package.